from your right. Down the move, back turns 270 degrees away from the crowd, back to the north. You're set up for an oblique loop, so imagine a big loop in the air, tip that on its side, and it will give a close opportunity to see the aeroplane very close to the ground. Display pilots for this aircraft over the 2 days. This is Captain RIAT, and he's from the 1st Tactical Fighter Squadron of the Polish Air Force, based in Minsk, Mazowiecki. That oblique loop as he comes back towards ground centre, and then he'll pull up for another loop with a half roll. This is absolutely one of the quintessential fighters of the Cold War era. Initially, of course, a Soviet design. It was first spotted by a US surveillance satellite at Ramenskoye, now known as Zhukovsky in Moscow in 1977. 6 years later it came into service, and it, of course, to operate in the Soviet Union, and particularly certain parts of the Soviet Union, it had to be a simple and rugged design. You might see on the aircraft when it lands the movable intake shields on the air intakes on the front to help with operating from unprepared or damaged runways, because of course they would have had to have done that in wartime. Right to left along the cloud line, pulls that up for it looks like another wing over. I think he's slightly mixing and matching between his full and his flat shows today, given the cloud base.
I think he is. I think the clouds are a little bit lower than anticipated, so he's changing between his bad and good weather displays, which all the display pilots were trained to do.
In the Cold War, MiG-29s would have assisted a Soviet advance into Western Europe by escorting ground attack aircraft of the Soviet Union and other Warsaw Pact air forces. But today they're very much part of NATO. All MiG-29s have taken part in many multinational exercises and deployments. Extra MiG-29s when the Germans sold theirs for a symbolic €1. But this is one of the original Soviet supplied machines. And while it's now quite an old design, an upgrade deal for 16 of Poland's Fulcrums, Fulcrum being the NATO code name given to this aircraft during the Cold War years. They're going to be upgraded with new avionics, and they should fly on until about 2030, so plenty more opportunities, one hopes, to see this spectacular aircraft displaying for us.
Now I think if we've got this right bend between his good and bad weather display, we'll be positioning for a knife edge pass, so great opportunity for any photographers out there to get
Poland has two wings of these aircraft. The first wing at Minsk Mazowiecki and the 41st at Malbork up in the very north of Poland. Of course, Poland operated all the MiG fighters during the Cold War period, but today, with the modernisation of that Air Force, they've got new F-16s in operational service now. Just these and the Sukhoi Su-22 fitters are left to represent the era of Soviet-built machines. Gear down now. He calls this his landing imitation, I think, on his display note. Of course, you can't see that down the runway now because of the manoeuvre on the 230-metre display line.
Indeed, any aerobatic manoeuvre, especially a fast jet above 300 knots, I believe, needs to be performed on something called the 230-metre display line. So imagine 230 metres from the edge of the crowd line. Put that out and you can see the orange markers out on the display line there. That is the 230-metre line. Any time he goes upside down, he needs to be on that line.
And that was the last pass of his display. The MiG-29, always a hugely welcome sight in any flying display, and particularly here at the Air Tattoo, because of course in the 1990s the former Warsaw Pact Air Forces really started appearing en masse here. They provided so many great memories, and they are rekindled by the likes of this Polish Air Force MiG-29A. As it rolls past, you'll perhaps notice the special markings on the tail fins of the display jet. They honour a Polish World War II hero who was killed in action, namely Mirosław Ferich. He was a fighter ace with 8 2/3 confirmed kills. He served on PZL P-11Cs, a Polish-built fighter, and the French-built Morin-Saunier MS-406s. He then joined number 303 Squadron of the Royal Air Force on Hurricanes in 1940. Tragically, he died on the 14th of February 1942 when the Spitfire he was flying broke up over RAF Norfolk. And the first squadron of the Polish Air Force today maintains his memory, and there you can see his face on the inside